Peace and blessings, family. Welcome back to another Through the Bible. On this Through the Bible, we're going to pick up at Luke chapter 14. I'm going to do verses 1 through 14. And of course, family, you know what to do. Get your pens, your paper, your Bibles, take notes, and follow along. So Sahar, without further ado, let's get into this Luke 14.
And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him.
All right. And so here is Jesus. And it says, and it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, they watched him. And the first thing we need to know is that you don't go to somebody's house unless you're invited.
Yeah.
So Jesus had to be asked to come. And of course, it's fine to go to someone's house on the Sabbath day.
Yep.
And he was there to eat bread. And what did they do? That they watched him. So they watched Jesus. And the reason why these Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes and lawyers, they was always watching Jesus, because they knew it was a difference between him and them. And just like that, they still watch you, family. They know you're not out there lying. You're not out there taking advantage of the poor. You're not out there stealing. They know it's a difference between you and them. They were walking in the letter, but Jesus was walking in the spirit.
Yep.
That's the difference, and they saw that. Okay, verse 2.
And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy.
All right, and so while Jesus here is at this chief Pharisee's house to eat bread, there was a certain man there before him which had the dropsy. And I looked up the dropsy, and they said what that was, you had an excess of fluid or some type of swelling in the body. And this is what this man had. And so, let's see what happens next.
And Jesus answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?
All right. And so Jesus answering spake unto the lawyers and the Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? So you lawyers, you experts of the law, is it lawful to heal or to show love, to show compassion, to show mercy on the Sabbath day? Okay, and so just like Jesus was there, these lawyers and these Pharisees also was there on this Sabbath day. But Jesus asked them a question. And remember back in Luke chapter 13, one of the rulers of the synagogue, they had indignation with Jesus because he had healed the lady on the Sabbath day because she was bowed together. And that indignation, so remember, they run in a clique, a group. So you see one mindset, you see the other ones.
Yep.
Okay. Verse 4.
And they held their peace. And he took him and healed him and let him go.
So they didn't even answer Jesus a word. Jesus healed the man and he let him go. So the question that Jesus asked them about, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day, he answered it by healing the man, by saying, yes, it is. So he healed the man and let him go. So they didn't even have to answer the question.
Yeah.
Jesus said, I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
And he healed the man, because that's showing love. You don't stop loving or having faith because it's on the Sabbath day. But that's what happens when you walk in the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, verse 5.
And answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day?
All right, but Jesus answered and asked him, if your ox or if your ass falls into a pit, wouldn't you immediately go and pull him out of the pit on the Sabbath day? And that answer would be yes. Why? Because that ox or that ass had a type of value for them. It was of some use to them. Now I'm just go to 2 Kings 4:22 and 24, just so we can take a look and see how they would use an ass. Okay.
Okay. 2 Kings chapter 4 and verse 22. And she called unto her husband and said, Send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of God and come again.
All right. Verse 24.
Then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, Drive and go forward. Slack not thy riding for me, except I bid thee.
Oh, so she would use this ass for some riding. Okay. And so now let's see, how would they need this ox? What use would it have been to them? Let's go to Job chapter 1 and verse 14. And let's see the use of the ox. Okay.
And there came a messenger unto Job and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them.
Oh, so for some plowing. Now let's take a look at Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 4. Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 4. Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn.
Oh, so plowing and treading. So that's why you need that ox or that ass, because you sure gonna get out and take it out of that pit.
Yeah, for transportation and labor.
That's right. So it sure meant something to them to make sure that if that ox or ass was falling into the pit to get it out, needed to keep it alive. Because they needed to produce
bread and butter.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Zahara, when it comes to their own people, their own Israelite sisters and brothers that was sick or diseased or maimed, they are no value to me. There is nothing you can do for me. Anything you gonna cost me.
And they treated them like that too.
Yes. Okay, verse 6.
And they could not answer him again to these things.
All right, now if you're an expert of the law, shouldn't you be able to answer? That would have been a simple yes or no. But they answered Jesus
Now,
nothing.
if it's their traditions now, they answer that.
They're going to cut up.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
past the doctrine, they could they'll cut it up with
Yes,
that.
sir. Sure will. But Jesus silenced them. And it's how you have to do silencing with the script. Okay, verse 7.
And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, and said unto them.
All right. And so now Jesus, he is putting forth a parable to those that were bidden. You was asked to come to this chief priest's house. So Jesus sat back and watched. He was very observant of how they chose the chief of the rooms. And what did he say? He answered them in a parable. Okay, verse 8.
When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him.
All right. So Jesus is finna say something to these jokers. He said, when you are asked to attend a wedding, don't sit down in the highest seat or in the highest room like you got to have first class. You know, like the seat of Moses. Because you think you're the expert of the law. But he says, unless a more honorable man than you be asked to come to this wedding too. Why? Because Jesus let him know, I'm this most honorable man, and just like you was asked to come, I'm here too. But I cut you up with this script. Humble yourself down is what he telling him. Verse 9.
And he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room.
All right. And so he's telling them that he that asked you, that same chief Pharisee that asked you to come, guess what? He asked me to come too. And what? He tells you that, oh, give Jesus some space. We want to hear what he got to say and watch what he do. And then Jesus says, and then thou begin to and thou with what? Shame take what? The lowest room. And so he said this person gonna tell you, he gonna take your seat. Because why? We finna transfer to Melchizedek anyway. But guess what? And Jesus now has put you to shame. So go take your lower seat. You done been dethroned.
That's right.
Because
right.
the real expert of the law is here. And he gonna show you what the true meaning of it was. Because y'all been walking in the letter. Mm-hmm. Y'all not humble, y'all don't have faith, and you definitely don't have no love. Mm-hmm. Sit down somewhere and nah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, verse 10.
But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee.
Oh, but he said, so the next time you invited, or in other words, he telling them, go sit down somewhere and humble yourselves. And when you ask the question concerning the law, you won't be silenced, seeing how you're supposed to be an expert of the law and stuff. And so in front of this chief priest, you'll be humble and learn to listen and learn to have respect in seeing those who need to be healed, those who have maimed, and just doing what Jesus did for this man with the dropsy. But if not, but it says also that he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. But he couldn't do that because Jesus had them put that sword on. Mm-hmm. He asked you one question and you was what? You silence. And so there's no, they didn't get no, boy, you answer that thing, boy, Jesus asked you and you, boy, none of that. Nope. Silenced. Yeah. So, and let's go see what 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15 says.
Second Timothy chapter 2 and 15. Study to shew thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
But they wasn't able to do that. Just off one simple question, and here they were experts of the law. Let me see if I can find this here, what I'm looking for. Let me see if this is it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yes. So let's go to Matthew 9, 12, and 13.
But when Jesus heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Did not Jesus just sound like he said, go study and show yourself approved? You go learn what that means.
Find out, learn.
Yes, learn it. Mm-hmm.
So that's the first step in the process of humility, is humbling yourself to learn.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which means that you're acknowledging that you don't know.
Right.
I don't know how to love.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know laws, statutes, and commandments, but I don't know what they mean.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Don't know. But when you're humble, you'll say
I know how to love Mr. and Mrs. Belvedere, but I don't know how to love Keisha and Travanti.
That's right. That's
So
right.
I need to learn.
Mm-hmm. And we do, as a people, we need to learn that, because you know what's hard? We've been taught to love Mr. and Mrs. Belvedere.
Mm-hmm.
We hear that all the time. You gotta love the mother nations. But when it comes to your own, they say it with disgust.
They do.
With a despised look on their face. For you even saying, well, Pastor, should we love our own first? Get off of this chat.
It ain't just about us getting all caught up in just Israel.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm gonna tell you straight. That's a slave mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You a slave.
Yes.
You still got shackles in your on your mind.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And a lot of Israelites, a lot of y'all don't say it outward. You say it in your actions.
That's right.
You say it in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And we do what's in our heart.
That's right. That's
right. That's why whenever, just for an example, if Brother Reggie Sr. or Jr. on the Sabbath day, he put forth the message, you in the chat talking, trying to out-teach the teacher and talk.
Yes.
You wouldn't do it if it was Mr. Belvedere and
I
his
wouldn't
son.
say a word.
They'll be quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tell me you say something at y'all meeting when your boss talking.
Nope, you quiet.
Attentive. Might even be taking notes.
Because why? That's a sign. It's something signifying to yourself that you don't love your brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even hear them out.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
You're ready to argue.
Yeah.
Because you don't look at them the way you look at Mr. Belvedere.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. And that's so sad that in this day and age, you see that a lot of our sisters, they don't love their brothers. I'm talking about the black man.
Yeah.
They do not love the black man. That's why they can't sit down and listen to a black man teach. For them to tell them anything, to receive correction. But that same Mr. Belvedere on that job, he say, Quisha, you got one more time to be late, and you are out of here. And he don't say it with a smile. He don't say it politely. And you just say, okay, but I be trying. He don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
He tell you to get out of his office.
Yep.
But when it come to your own brother telling you something to help you get eternal life, to live like the queen that you say you are in the kingdom, you won't receive it. Because I just can't look at him. I just can't stand it coming from a black man. And that's pretty sad. And these amongst your own, because we have a lot of sisters and brothers too, but I see a lot more, or I say black women or sisters, however y'all want to say it, Israelites. On jobs, I see a lot more y'all that are managers, that are supervisors, and that are team leaders. But you do not look at your brothers or your sisters as those that's being lame, maimed, those who need to be healed. Getting that nigga no job, I want to be the only one up in here. You know why you came in this interview?
And I know for a fact, because on my job, I sit and watch black faces who are managers, supervisors. You will see them interview the other nations.
Yes.
But then you don't see you though. You might see one.
Yeah, maybe.
And they be so excited when they come out and greet them.
Yep.
when they come greet all these other nations, the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
But you,
They mad because you even came. And
at
that's a
work, they
shame.
walk past you, act like they don't even see you.
Mm-hmm.
Darn, they're gonna walk through you like you transparent,
Yep.
like you Casper.
Mm-hmm. That's right. But it's a hard and funny thing about it, they don't know is they the one that got that dropsy,
Yep.
that excess fluid. You full of hatred and malice and envy.
And I just want you sell-out black people to know the Lord gonna trim that fat pretty soon.
He sure is. Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. You're right about that. I mean, I see them pass by their own.
Mm-hmm.
I even seen sisters that'll yell like hell at their children
Mm-hmm.
for even bumping into a Mr. Belvedere or Miss Belvedere. Accidentally in the store, you about to snatch their arm out the socket. But then the same child accidentally, and then you be like, oh, excuse me, she need me to get you. You better not be. But then your same child bump into one of their own. You ready to square
Yeah,
up
you
with me?
ready? Yeah, cause hey
I'm
man,
like,
get
what?
your churn.
Yes.
You ain't gonna. That's my baby. You ain't gonna talk about it, and you gonna tell me.
Yes, because the mind has no
That's a
love
sick mind.
in
boy.
it for their own.
And I'm gonna just tell you straight, I don't want nobody around like that
No.
around me.
Mm-mm. Keep it moving.
And that's why I ain't got nobody around me, because
Yes.
most of Israel is like that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Get the hell away from me with that kind of mind.
That's right. 'Cause they'll be the same one sell you out to Mr. and
They'll
Mrs.
cut your
Belvedere.
throat.
Mm-hmm. And it's a shame that it has to be that way. All right, back to Luke 14 and verse 11.
For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
All right. So you the manager now. You the supervisor, the team leader now. You living out there in the gated community and all that with them hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders.
Toasting to the good life with them.
Yes.
Taking trips, everything with them.
But you gonna be what? A base.
But you, your black behind with your black lips gonna be a
It
base.
sure is. Cause this says for whosoever. Who? Cause see, a lot of times, sisters, we think we exempt when we do evil. But does not this say for whosoever?
Yeah.
So this, whether it's the lawyer, whether it's the Pharisee, the chief Pharisee, the scribe, even all the way down to our day, whosoever
Whosoever
exalted
this is
himself
a promise.
shall be abased. But whosoever humbleth himself shall be exalted. And this is why when the atonement comes around, and they fast and fast and fast. No, you gotta fast, 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 fast. But then when we say, no, humble yourself, learn to not humble yourselves. Oh no, this ain't fast, you got to fast. But it's about humbling yourself.
Because the thought of loving you nookers, that's in, I'm
Yes.
saying that's how they thinking in their mind. Because the thought of loving you nookers is too much for me.
Yes.
I'd rather fast.
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather just let that pizza go and them chicken wings because see, when you humble yourself, and y'all better be mindful one thing, it says that God gives grace
To
to the humble. He extends that mercy. Why? Because he sees you done humbled you. Even as wicked as Ahab was. But when God said, because Ahab humbled himself, this will come to pass in his son's day, but he humbled himself.
Manasseh, same
But you
thing.
say fast.
Yeah, but you say fast.
Because when you humble yourself, it's a hard, that mean I got to say, sister, I love you. Do you need anything? I'm sorry the
They
way I
can't do
talk
that.
to you. Sorry the way I treat you. Nope, we'll hold grudges for 3,000 years.
Yep.
However long it take.
Because the way our people look at each other is the same way Mr. Belvedere looks at us.
Yes, that's
as
right.
an animal, as something to be shot down,
Yes,
something to be ran over, something to be discarded of.
right.
And they programmed that right into us
Yes.
in the television and movies.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
You nasty black thing.
Yep.
All you do is steal. You loud. You a thug.
Yes.
All you do is strip. You a hoe. All you do is beg.
That's right.
Use drugs. Sell drugs.
That's right.
You a monkey. And that's how our people think about each other. They treat each other the way Mr. and Mrs. Belvedere.
That's right. That's right. But you know what, Zara? If Jesus had to tell them to cut their pride off and humble yourselves, remember he is talking to the leaders of this time. And so they're teaching, and they're being an example to the flock. This is how you do. So when what we've done as a people, because we haven't heard love each other. No. It's just like you said, Mr. Belvedere taught us.
Yeah.
And our own leaders didn't teach us about loving one another, you know, and having faith in our God. We wasn't taught that. And so these leaders are accountable for not humbling themselves. And so guess what you have people gonna do? I'm gonna be a preacher like T.D. Jakes. I'm gonna be cashing in. They have no love for their people. They are the new Pharisees and the new lawyers.
Modern day.
Just modern days. And that's a shame. All right, let's go to verse 12.
Then said he also to him that bade him, When thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee.
All right, so now we know clearly Jesus is talking to this chief priest, because this is whose house he's at on the Sabbath day to eat with. And so he is telling them, when you make a dinner or a supper, don't just call your friends like the lawyers, the other Pharisees. Don't just call them, or just invite your family, your rich neighbors, unless they also bid thee again, because they're going to in return ask you or invite you to come to their supper or to their dinner, and recompense be made of thee. And that's how you're going to be rewarded from them. Y'all just hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders together.
Showing off. Today they be putting pictures up on Facebook and Instagram and all that. And
Yes.
basically that's all they get out of it, just showing you what they did. They had a
Yes.
good time.
It show you this entertainer went to that entertainer house. This one went to that party. He went to his party. Just a bunch of foolishness. But Jesus telling us that he told him, don't. That's not the way you function. But that's the reward you're gonna get, which is nothing. That's not no reward, cause I can make my own dinner or supper.
Right.
Can't I? But because you got money and I got money, let's exchange
let's
it amongst
exchange.
each other. Keep it all. We just greedy and eating up everything. Jesus told you they're a bunch of greedy dogs.
Yep, they can never
Can
have enough.
never have enough. But this is why they own, keep it in the family. This is why they got their own kinsmen and Verse 13.
But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind.
So he's telling this chief Pharisee, next time you have a feast, you call the poor and the maimed and those less fortunate Israelites. You call those. And why? Jesus telling them, learn to love your neighbor. This is what you need to do. Instead of here hobnobbing, you sitting up here the chief. You only eating with other Pharisees, rulers of synagogues and lawyers. No.
Operating just like the elite in Babylon.
Yes.
Same thing, the rich boy club.
That's right. He said,
the 2%.
"Don't do that." That's right. And that's what we see today too. But he said, when you make a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, and the blind, those who can't do nothing for you and they got nothing to give you in return. But what about verse 14?
And thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just.
And so in this verse 14, this takes faith and love. When you're doing this, you're not operating in the letter, not being a dictator, but a servant.
That's right.
Operating in faith and love. He says, you shall be blessed, for they cannot recompense. They can't pay you. For thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. Let's go to Proverbs 19 and verse 7. Because it takes faith to believe that you'll be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. And it takes love to call those who cannot repay you anything, the lame, the maimed, the blind, to feed them. That takes faith. Okay, Proverbs 19 and 17.
He that have pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he have given will he pay him again.
Oh, so he that has pity or mercy upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord. Because why? You depended on the Lord to pay you back.
Pay you back. Yeah.
And he says, and that which he have given will he pay him again. Then the Lord says,
Yep, for
thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. The Lord said, I'll pay you back. I remember that. That's why I love Psalms 41. He said, blessed is he that considereth the poor. I love that. I love that. But guess what? If you don't, call them to your supper and you continue on, because that means you don't believe God, first of all, and you don't have no love for your own. Now, I can say, of those Pharisees, Nicodemus did come to Jesus.
Yes.
He did. So not all Pharisees and, all of them was like that. But the bulk of them, yes.
And what's crazy is, he said, when you make a feast, you call the poor and the maimed. So, you call your own compadres and this elite group of friends and family, only for you not to be able to sit down at the feast in the end.
That's right.
With Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all of the prophets.
That's right.
All of the saints. You're going to miss out on that feast. You're going to be left out. You're going to be invited to that. You're going to miss out on that right there.
Yes. Let's go to John 5. I'm glad you said John 5, 28 and 29. You're going to be left out. Okay.
Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation.
All right. So Jesus said, marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all, did he say all? Or am I seeing something different?
All.
He said all that are in the graves shall hear his voice. So what's wrong with the preterists?
Yeah.
Because I still see my sister still in the grave. And I see a whole bunch of other graves surrounding hers, and the others, when I'm riding on the highway, graves ain't been over yet.
Somebody lied.
And it says, and shall come forth they that have done good, who have loved their God and their sisters and brothers, who have operated in the spirit and not in the letter, unto the what? Resurrection of life, that Jesus said that he will recompense you at the resurrection of the just. and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation.
So you gonna get resurrected, but which way you going
Yeah.
determines on whether or not you've done good
Mm-hmm.
or evil.
Yes. So did you walk in the letter? Lord, statute command. Move that bread out of my house on 11, but you're
Where's
full
your
of
beard?
leaven in him.
Where's your bed, sister? You know you supposed to have a dress on. Take them apple bottom pants off.
That's right.
Put this dress on. Where your fridge is at, brother? With your shirt.
That's right.
Even when you get in the shower, you better have the fridges on.
My goodness. You charging $500 to come to the Passover.
You know you're supposed to come to Pashka. Sukkot.
Yeah. And your ticket was $500. Where you was?
Where's your garment?
Where is it?
Yeah, you keep on going and walking around in that leather.
That's
We're going
right.
to let y'all have that. We're going to walk in the spirit of the law.
That's right.
We're going to walk with Christ.
That's right.
And we're not going to just put Christ on our shirt
That's right.
but still ain't walking up under Christ. We're not going to just mention Christ, but we still not living like Christ.
Christ, no.
We're going to let y'all do that. We're not going to be under the letter when it's convenient, when we want to be under the letter, but then when something happen, we do what's wrong. Now we want to jump under Christ for our benefit. We're going to let y'all have that.
That's right. Yep. We operate in faith and love.
And if you don't want to hear love over here, hey, there's plenty of teachers out there.
Yep.
There's plenty of camps. There's plenty of churches. They'll tell you just what you want to hear.
That's right.
You can go Esau it up all day.
Oh, yes.
As a matter of fact, our people or the teachers, leaders, they talk more about the hate for Esau than they do the love for Yom.
Yeah. Destruction of the nations. It's upon them. But we trying to show you this love so destruction don't be upon you.
Yeah. Because you do realize the Lord going to get a whole lot of Negroes.
Yes.
I don't know what world you live in. Because the Lord said, come up out of her. And he's talking about the mentality.
Yes.
If you have that same mentality Babylon got, hating your own, hating your neighbor,
Yes.
doing the things she do, you ain't going to make it.
That's
Because he promised that. Come out of
Yes.
her, my people, that you be not plagued with her plagues.
That's right.
And the plague she gonna get burnt with fire, and you
Yes.
gonna join her.
None of that. Nope.
You gonna be looking at Esau, and Esau gonna be looking at you.
That's right. That's right. That is so true. Well, Razor, you had anything that you want to add?
No, ma'am.
All right, family. With that said, we will say shalom.